Ever since the release of the Grand Warden, the Eternal Tome has been considered the best ability in Clash of Clans. No matter what town hall you are, the Eternal Tome has held up as probably the most used and best equipment in the game overall ever since Town Hall 11 has been released. But it is changing. Now, traditionally, when you use the Warden ability, what does it do? It makes your troops immune up to 8 seconds. Now, this is massive because once you get into a core of a base, especially when all the heavy hitting defenses are hitting you, your troops will be immune. As long as you use the Warden ability where troops are inside of the aura, they will not be able to take any damage for a maximum of 8 seconds, right? Even if they go outside of the the warden's little circle area and the tome area, they will be immune. However, this is being changed and reworked. Clash of Clans is announcing, or has announced, probably by the time of this video came out already. Hey Chief, we want to give you a heads up about upcoming balance changes in the future update regarding an Eternal Tome rework. The details are as follows. Total duration has been increased by 0.2 seconds across all levels. Damage immunity effect ends 1 second after exiting Grand Warden's aura, and the damage immunity effect is also given to units who either enter Grand Warden's aura after activation. For more insights into this change, please feel free to check content created by our creators on this topic and how you can utilize this equipment before and after this change is live. Now, a couple things to dive in here, right? A lot of people are going to be wondering, is this a good or a bad change? Now, I'm going to say overall good, and there could be, like, obviously bad. So the main thing being the total duration being increased by 0.2 seconds is great. The damage immunity effect wearing off after 1 second after exiting the ability, though, will, obviously have an impact on certain abilities, most notably blimp attacks, right? Obviously, with RC Charge being the meta right now in the game, the biggest thing it will affect is how people use the battle blimp moving forward. Now, traditionally, what people would do is they, create a funnel with the RC Charge, or, make a funnel for your dragons. Place your dragons down, place your balloons down, and then send the blimp across the map, and the blimp is immune for 8 seconds, so it can make it to the town hall. Now, obviously, once the blimp exits the warden radius or warden's aura for the Eternal Tome, it will no longer be immune 1 second after. So that could be considered a pretty big change, because you will have to use your blimp slightly smarter, obviously delay your blimp a little more. So I think overall, while it could be considered a nerf to blimps, it will also be good because blimp is very, very strong right now, especially with Yeti bombs and just clone bomb in general, right? The tunnel doesn't explode anymore, so it's a very strong strategy, especially at the higher town halls and even at the lower town halls. Even maybe you can consider Sarch getting nerfed if you decide to use, Sarch with the Eternal Tome. So in terms of that, pros, if your army goes forward, and they step out of the ability, obviously they will not be immune. But the best part about this, arguably though, is damage immunity effect also is given to units who enter the Grand Warden's aura after activation. So this is a good thing, for example, because when your troops, you obviously have to have your troops inside of the aura to get the effect. When you press the ability, and if you didn't get your troops inside of the aura beforehand, then they just would not be immune. So for example, the Hog Riders are inside of the circle, you do the ability, they are immune. But if for some reason the Hogs decided to step out, or your Warden decides to do some weird thing where he walks away, and you, for example, miss your troops, they will not be immune, so they would just die. But this kind of gives you a little more wiggle room, because even if you don't get your troops in there initially, you could probably use the Warden ability even slightly earlier. You can use it a second after, and the troops will still be able to get immune. Obviously, they will become unimmune after 1 second, but in my opinion, I think this is overall a buff, because your Warden traditionally just moves with your army anyways, so they're not, it's not like he's going to be not following your army. This will probably be good, because like I said, you can end up using the Warden ability on every single troop, whether you get them in the circle or not initially. So that in my opinion is a buff. Oh yeah, another thing too, yeah, the nice thing is it's being increased by 0.2 seconds at all levels. Now, the biggest question is this going to affect most of your attacks? Probably not, unless you're doing like some kind of blimp strategy, because like I said, your Warden just follows the army anyways. I think one thing though that would be very interesting to see, the biggest thing being affected is the blimp and the Lava Loon Puppet. Now, Lava Loon Puppet has been considered the worst equipment in the game besides Snake Bracelet. Obviously, maybe you can even consider this the worst equipment in the game in general. Most notably because when you use it with Eternal Tome, the balloons or the Lava Loons do not become immune, because the Eternal Tome gets activated first, and then the Warden spawns the Lava Loon Puppets afterwards, or Lava Loon troops afterwards. But now with this change, because It doesn't matter whether the troop is initially inside of the aura or not, it will still be immune as long as it is inside the Warden ability's aura, obviously for that 8 seconds, right? So pretty insane to think about. Maybe we see Lava Loon Puppet become meta. I mean, it very well could be game breaking now. So who knows, man? Definitely going to be plays that you can make with a Lava Loon Puppet. I'm assuming now a lot of troops will benefit from this change. I'm gonna say this is probably overall a buff and a good change. Arguably might even make the Ward ability, I don't know if it'll make it more broken. I just think it's gonna make it so that you have way more wiggle room and you won't really suffer as much, just in case you, for example, accidentally press your ability too early, or even if you press it a second too late, your troops walk away. Your Warden still has a chance to move forward, like for example in here, he can move forward, you know, like if they step out, they can, you know, come back in. Pretty much they can exit and leave kind of freely, and they'll still be immune for 1 second after. So that's pretty much the balance changes. Let me know what you guys think. Is this a good or bad change? Overall, I think this is probably a buff across across the board. It'll make strategies maybe even more viable that weren't viable before. I'm curious to see what other creators come up with as well, because this is a pretty big change. Another thing that I want to kind of end the video on, that I kind of want to make a video about for a while now, is should the Royal Champion charge strategy get nerfed? Now, I'm basically kind of asking, is Electro Boot, should they get nerfed? Maybe I should actually ask that as a poll next. But the options were, yes, it's way too strong, maybe nerf Electro Boots, no, it's fine how it is, and delete Electro Boots. I just put it as a meme. 4.4k votes 2 days ago. Obviously, people saying no. However, it's pretty clear, I think, aside from the Eternal Tome, that the Electro Boots are like the most broken equipment in the game right now, man. They're so strong. The fact that they're passive just makes them so good. Aside from the fact that they're not, you know, an active ability. Also, even Clash ran a poll too. 60% of people saying that they use invisible Electro Boots, and that's 283,000 votes, bro. So let me know what you guys think about the Electro Boots, or what other equipment you think should be reworked. I think there's a couple that could be reworked, like especially like the Barbarian Puppet, the Archer Puppet, and the Electro Boots. Man, the Electro Boots are so strong. And I guess last thing, I've been doing a series on my live streams where I do Barch in Legend League. That's right, Barch, and I've been 3-starring. Now, I originally recorded this video showing the Barch attacks, but I kind of yapped on, so I don't really want to yap on here, but I've been doing Barch in Legend League every single day. I'm planning on doing, like, a series where I just use RC Charge with Random Army just to prove how strong this strategy is, bro. It is so strong. You can literally pretty much use any army and still triple, because Electro Boots are just so good with the Royal Champion. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Subscribe if you want to see the series about me doing Barch and Legend League. I've actually posted a video on my channel. You can check it out probably somewhere on my screen here. I've tripled with all wall breakers and on max bases, and Barch on max bases. If you don't believe me, go check out the videos. This is a replay. This is my replay log, and this is literally the bases that I'm hitting, guys. So subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Until then, I am out.